All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's do this thing. This is TZL Unprescripted. You know, it's I got to keep it on the down low with this, man, because YouTube doesn't like it when I upload the actual. They take them down. So I'm working out a new way to do these things. So even though YouTube keeps me on the down low anyway, I'm just kind of staying off the radar with these. So you guys are kind of like VIPs, like VIP guest, in my little corner of the internet right here as we do the TZL Unprescripted. So anyway, man, let's party with this news. We got Bruce Jenner, the so-called Caitlyn Jenner. Turns out Caitlyn, that's just funny to say. The so-called Caitlyn wants to be governor of California as a Republican, right? So transgender is a Republican in name only, as far as I'm concerned, and the same way that he's female in name only. Look, I kind of struggle with this, y'all, because the dude doesn't even seem to abide. Well, not seem, he doesn't, just straight up does not abide by the law of nature. But you think he's really going to uphold civil laws? Now look, just as he's deceived about being a woman, he will govern, y'all. He's going to govern with the deception that he's a champion of civil laws, because, hey, he's all trans and, he's woke and stuff like that. And, of course, they care about civil rights. I love the way they always try to tie this to black folks, to lean on the plight that the Democrats imposed on black folks to get sympathy vote for their cause. So, I mean, and that just goes to show even more that transgender is confused about a great many things. The Lord's peace and truth to you, man. I hate to see people giving over to delusions, and what's more, when people are trying to impress that delusions on other people, and not only by this cultural activism, but by political activism too, and want us to be ruled, want us to abide by these policies that they put over us. Can't stress that enough. Y'all, that dog don't hunt, and it's getting worse, y'all. It's getting worse. So let's see. Now, just as I was saying, man, any man that insists that we recognize him as a woman, or vice versa, is like trying to force somebody to say there's 5 lights when there's really only 4. Do we really want to be a society like that, y'all? It's coming. Also, transgender claims to be a Christian, while ignoring that God, said, this here's a man and this here's a woman. It's a basic biological spiritual truth, right? Spiritual. I almost sound like Elmer Fudd, the spiritual spiritual truth, man. And God's like, don't mess with it. Here they go messing with it. All right. This is an affront to these are like the first things that God said about us. All right. It's very basic. You're a man, you're a woman. I designed that. Okay. I created you. Right. And here it is, you're trying to mess with it. So I can't get behind a person like that who would assume to be governor. So now this would be an example, y'all, of what's called an abomination, when you are going to totally rebel, one, against God's moral law and God's natural law. This is nature that you're rebelling against, right? The law of nature. When you do things like that, when you want to indulge in something like that, when you want to make these kind of things law, when you do these things that are outside law of nature, and an affront to the moral law, these things are called an abomination, right? When you offer up your blood and are taking medications, which are in effect potions, right, to transform you into something else against nature, that's witchcraft. All right. Like I said, you gonna be sacrificing your flesh. You're gonna cut yourself. You're gonna bleed out. Right? You're gonna make this blood offering to transform yourself into something else. You're gonna be taking these medications, right? Like I said, these are potions. This is witchcraft. You're trying to transform yourself into something else. It's not natural. It's strange how you people who claim to be witches claim to be like such lovers of nature while they do these things that are at odds with nature. These things are abominations, y'all. And that's what Jenner has made of himself. Y'all, to give you a preview of what it means when we talk about the prophecy of the abomination that causes desolation, standing where it should not be, a transgender standing in office as governor over us would be a preview of the abomination that causes desolation, standing where it should not be. Y'all don't keep paving this road. All right. I'm not saying that that's what it is. It's like the Bible gives you an outline of this, gives you a heads up and say, hey, you might want to start looking for these things. All right. Because these things start drawing you closer to the real deal, to the real deal. I tried to say deal and thing at the same time. It came out deal. And before I go on, I see y'all coming. I think I see happy birthday in there. Okay, happy birthday. What's that, Robert? Right on, man. Happy birthday. And thank you guys for showing up to TZL Unprescripted. Just want to say hi to you guys really quick while I get back, on this reflecting on the news of the week. All right, so let's get on back into it. Shout out to my peeps, man. I gotta show y'all some love. Y'all showing me some love, right? And I'll even toast to y'all with this nice sledge mug. You guys can get these at my website, bronzeserpentmedia.com, so you can get your sledge on too. Yeah. All right, sipping style, y'all. Okay, so let's see. So I hope you guys can see where the Bible, the Word of God gives you these things. Like, look, these templates that are going to be here, they give you a heads up on what's coming. All right. When you see something like this on the horizon, say, hey, this sounds familiar. We might not want to go down that road. All right. So with transgender running for governor, you don't want to get behind this. All right. Don't do it. Do not invite the judgment of God like this, man. Come on, y'all. So let's see. So people are brainwashed, y'all. They're brainwashed and embracing things like this. Who's that cat, man? Who's basically, trying to emotionally manipulate people. That's just how the left does, man. That's Democrats for you, be emotionally manipulating people, right? Who's that cat? A little while ago, man, was Brandon Boulware, a so-called Christian and son of a Methodist minister, who calls his son his daughter, right? So, he's going to go ahead and go before the public and, and yank on people's heartstrings and stuff like that. Now, he admits, y'all, and I got the link, where you can check it out. You can see his presentation yourself, y'all, and I'm pretty sure you'll be moved to tears. Don't be moved by this, y'all. Do not let this person move you off the foundation of the Lord, okay? So he says, out of his self-effacement that he doesn't get it, right? But he thinks he gets it enough to solve it by conceding to his son being a so-called girl, right? Now, this is what folks, the LGBT and these leftists and stuff like that. Let me explain something to y'all. The burden ain't on us to get it. All right, let me repeat that. The burden is not on us to get it. A male thinking he's a female and vice versa, and anybody else who goes along with this are the ones who don't get it. The burden is on you to get it, right? Not the burden on us to get it and forfeit reality to satisfy your fantasy. All right. But the demand, y'all, is being put on us to get it. And we're supposed to be the ones who need help getting it, right? Y'all got that backwards. All right. We don't need help getting it. All right. If we got the Word of God, we already get it. All right. And woe to those who take the Lord's name in vain and try to invoke God to say that God will be okay with this, and that the real Christian thing to do is accept what is an affront to what God has said about us from the beginning. You are a man, you are a woman. You don't switch these things around. All right. So now he says that his daughter, quote unquote daughter, equated good with being someone else. And to get the full context, like I said, I got the link in the video. You can see what he said. But he doesn't seem to understand that, no, by him conceding to this, he has given into his son equating good with being something else. He's got it totally backwards. He says he was teaching his daughter to deny who she is. No, dude, that's what you're doing now. He got the order backwards. He goes on to say, he says, as a parent, we cannot silence our kids' spirits. You can't silence your children's spirit. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, man. Look, if your kid's spirit has been hijacked, yeah, you need to silence that spirit. You know, demons are spirits, right? And since you want to bring spirits into the conversation, okay, let's see. Let's understand then, as a Christian, you should know better. You claim to be a Christian, brought up Christian and stuff like that, then you should know better than to talk about not silencing spirits, right? Let's read what the word of God says about silencing spirits. Mark 1:24-26. What do you want with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God. But Jesus rebuked the spirit and said, be silent, shut up. Oh, yeah, quiet that spirit, man. He said, come out of him. At this, the unclean spirit threw the man into convulsions and came out with a loud shriek. Oh, you old disrespectful demon. Had to get a scream in after I told you to shut up. Right? Or let's take a look at Mark 9:19-23. Oh, unbelieving generation, Jesus replied, how long must I remain with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me, the boy, right? So they brought him. And seeing Jesus, the spirit immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, how long has this been going on? Like, Jesus don't know, but it's like, you know, just to get the full effect. It's like, man, it's like you've been dealing with this for a little while, huh? Right? I know it seems like a long time. He's a kid, but it seemed like a long time, don't it? I hear you, man. All right, let's fix this, right? And he says, from childhood, right, it often throws him into the fire or into the water, trying to kill him, right? So, you know, this boy is, you know, I don't know, maybe teen, you know, preteen, you know, something like that. You know, still a boy, still young, but you know, it's been with him for, you know, maybe ever since, you know, I guess what we would equate with elementary school, maybe kindergarten or something like that, you know. But you know, for it seemed like a long time for this guy, but this, you know, he's still a boy, right? Still a kid. So he says, but he often throws him into the fire or into the water, trying to kill him. But if you can do anything, have compassion and help us. If you can, echo Jesus. Man, all things are possible to him who believes, right? Now, for this young man's daughter, man, it's like, man, I'm not sure you believe. You know, it sucks, man. I hear you, man, because demons are bullies, right? And they'll abuse your kid. But you settled, man. You settled for a temporary false peace with these demons for an eternity without God. That's not a good move, man. That's not a good move. It's your child is a real, and I know these things are easier said than done, man. I trust me, man. I get it. But you setting yourself up for something really hard, right? For a sense of temporary relief. You know, your child is a real human being, man, with a very unreal view, right? And you think in the video he says it's his responsibility basically to make his kid happy, right? And he assumes that his responsibility in making his kid happy is letting his son think he's a girl, right? That's what you assume is going to free your kid, really? Letting your kid be shackled to a fantasy, you know? So you would rather your child live with fake freedom than real struggles. You know, I mean, is that what we call parenting, man? You know, and this stuff is just being played up more and more. You know, man, pursue real freedom. You know, real joy that comes from the Lord, man. What's the point of even struggling? Yeah, everybody's got struggles, dude. We all got struggles, right? But what's the point of struggling if the prize isn't real freedom? At the end of this struggle, you gave your kid fake freedom. You gave your kid fake joy, I'm sure, man, and always it probably looks and feels and sounds real enough to you, but it's not real, man. It's not real. You know, it's the Matrix, man. It's the same thing as Eve looking at the fruit, and hey, look, it looked good enough, right? It was an agent. It was a tool to bring in death. You know, it's this isn't a good move, man. This doesn't make y'all woke. This isn't a woke move. It's fake, right? It doesn't make you strong in your acceptance of it. It makes you weak in your submission to it. You know, these there's parents, man, who are out there, man, who've endured, you know, who've endured their loved ones coming home after wars, maimed, man, and they gotta help them through that battle after what the war has sent them home with. You know, they endure these things with them. You know, they endure in love, man. It's because that's what, you know, the parent does. You know, that's hard. That's hard stuff, man. When you have parents who have children, you know, with autism, you know, that's a battle that their kid was born in, and the Lord blessed that kid to have a parent to help them through that battle. You know, and that's an enduring battle, man. It goes, you know, how long is it? But the parent doesn't just give their kid over to autism. You know, you have a kid, man, that you're gonna endure. You got to raise that kid, man, and help them understand, man, this is nature, man. This is the law of God. This is how it is. Now, when you grown and you old enough to, I have a responsibility. We want to talk about responsibilities. You got a responsibility to make sure that this kid is rooted in the word of God and reality based on that. Reality based on that. That's your responsibility. Raise your kid up in that. Raise your kid up in the instruction of the Lord. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, if after that, when your kid is old enough to afford their own liabilities, right? And your kid wants to go ahead. It's like, I'm grown now. I'm not dependent on you for anything. When your kid is old enough to flip the bill for that and flip the bill for their consequences, right? And has assumed that they can handle the responsibility of dealing with God, right? It's like, okay, man, go ahead and do you. You grown. You grown. Go ahead. I tried to teach you what I can, but you grown now. Take my counsel or leave it. Then from there, if your son decides that he wants to be, that's on him. But right now it's on you, man, to make sure that your son understands. Yo, man, in this house, we serve the Lord, you know, and don't fail your kid, man, by giving your kid command over your house. You gave your child command over your house, dude. You gave the devil command over your house. Man, and command over your kids. You're not obeying the word of God, man. You know, and the culture is being more and more given over to this. That's what we're seeing. So you know, I mean, all that said, man, it's you're really no more of a Christian than your son is a girl, you know, and you're trying to impress this lie on us to accept this truth and make us live under these laws, right? You put on this show only to show that you're not man enough to fight for your kid's integrity as a young man, and more importantly, his soul. You know, so you know, if your kid is gonna be a girl, man, it's like, wow, man, I don't understand where he's gonna be learning how to be a man from. You know, you basically dropped your kid off in the hell, and actually no, because you by enforcing this, by being that stumbling block to your kid, by emboldening him in this, you're gonna walk in the hell with your eyes open too, wide open, man. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just telling you what the word says. I don't want you to go to hell. I don't want that to happen to anybody. That's what we're trying to do. This isn't judgment. This is a warning. I'm trying to let you know. Don't do this, right? I have no authority to condemn anybody to hell. I'm just telling you what the word says. You do this, man. You know, you're gonna hurt your kid throughout his life, thinking that it's happiness throughout his life and throughout eternity. You know, and that's a ticket for you too. Don't do that, man. Don't do it. I'm telling you, man, I'm sick of these people, man, who have so much energy. They got all this energy, man. They have all this energy to try to force the multitudes to change their view, to accommodate them, when it would be so much easier if they would just fix their own house. Like I said, y'all the ones who need to get it. It's not the multitudes around you who need to get it, right? These multitudes that you're charging, man, we're squared up with nature, all right? Y'all are the ones who are trying to defy nature. The things that facilitate life, y'all are trying to, and it holds a society together in a sense of sanity. Y'all are trying to do away with that and trying to make everybody else conform to it. You're doing it backwards, right? Stop trying to make us conform to you. So anyway, y'all, speaking of trans and change, this past week we had, what was that, Earth Day? All right, on this party for the Earthlings and stuff. Right, and that went down. It cracks me up, man. People be preaching about how much, they love the earth. Oh, we love the earth. We love the earth, and we're gonna change the world. That don't make no sense. I mean, because if you love the earth so much, why do you want to change it? What do you want to change it? What do you want to trans the earth for, man? What do you want to change it into? What do you want to change the earth into? Right? You love the earth and you want to change it. I don't know what y'all want to change it into, man. But here's the bottom line, y'all. You're not trying to change the world. You're trying to change people, right? And you're willing to ruin everything to do it, to make the people abide by your fantasies, right? Force us into this imagination land that you have, make people forfeit reality. It's man, y'all just, you need to leave people alone, man. It's like I said, you're ruining everything to make people abide by this. And these people are running behind Greta Thunberg like she's Forrest Gump. It's like, come on, man. It's the things that people seek fulfillment in and think that it's woke and spiritual. It's like, man, really? I mean, they're following behind this girl, the girl who says, "You've robbed me. How dare you? You've robbed me of my childhood," right? And don't get me wrong, man. I pray for the Lord's, peace and and sound to her, man. I really do. But it's not so much about her, man. It's the people who are using her, man. And it's like, since they see her as this prophetess or something like that, I'm pretty sure she can take a couple of, ribbings, So anyway, but it's not like I said, man, it's not about her. It's these people who are following around her, man. And, but he's saying, you've robbed me of my childhood. And I'm like, you're being worshiped, girl. You're being worshiped by people. You represent people who rob the unborn of their childhood, while saying we must preserve the earth for future generations. Yeah, let that sink in. I've talked about this irony for many, many years. I think even probably before Greta was born. But not maybe a little after that. All right, but what else we got? Putin. Putin wants to get into a balloon fight, man. I got the link, man. Seriously, man. I'm serious. He wants to get into a balloon fight, man. And they've got some mad balloon twisty skills, man. They can twist them balloons up, man, and make them look like tanks. They can twist them balloons up, make them look like jets, right? They can twist it. They got blow up dolls. No, I'm serious. Like blow up dolls, the actual, not like blow up. They got blow up dolls, man. Suicide dolls, man. The things will blow up. You don't want to, you don't want none of that. Anyway, balloon fight. I'm telling you. ABC, we got ABC. They got a fire drama on there, man. And the narrative in this fire drama is being black in America is a life-threatening condition. Oh Lord, right? A life-threatening condition. And I guess this TV show is called Station 19. So more. That's the narrative, y'all. Black folks got to be afraid of the white boogeyman. Oh, we're so afraid of white folks. They gonna. Oh man, it's nobody, no nationality is more invested in white supremacy than black folks. So the majority of black folks is white supremacy's biggest investors. Is they perpetuate this image of white people being superior. They've got all the power, and they're just awful corrupt with their power. And it's like you can't go out there claiming to deny white supremacy when you prop white people up as the superior race. I don't like to use the word race, right? It's a misnomer, but this nationality, this culture of people, there's different cultures of the nationalities of white people, but look, man, I don't subscribe to any superiority. I'm not giving over to that nonsense, man. Nobody's superior, but as far as black folks are concerned, they act like they're so angry. And you got these knucklehead white liberals too, just going on, basically boasting in white supremacy while acting like they're so butthurt about it. White supremacy. It's like nobody talks about it more than y'all, and you can't say that, anybody, y'all are a bunch of racists. It's black people doing this, Mexicans. I don't care if you're buying into this, y'all as big a racist as anybody else. Well, we can't be racist. Only white people can be racist. Well, how come white people can only be racist? Because they're the ones with all the power. So basically, what you're saying is that they're superior. That's a confession of yours. If you keep saying that white people can't be racist because white people are ones with all the power, then that is in effect you claiming them as superior. You might want to stop doing that. But this racism stuff is just goofy, man. And we got to see the white man as the boogeyman. We're supposed to be walking around afraid of the boogeyman, but not accept their supremacy. Look, man, that stuff don't work with me. All right. It sucks, man, that the multitudes are giving over to this nonsense, man. It's sad. It's so very sad. But at any rate, hey, man, it sells. It makes money. It makes for great television. It makes for, hey, they get into that Netflix, man. They get into, they'll butthurt a little bit for, when Netflix puts out a video that, with girls, these girls, doing all that hoochie mama stuff like that. And, and then after that, they go back right back to it. They go back to watching all these liberal TV shows and stuff like, man, liberals going to do what they do, man. I keep trying to tell, folks that's what they do. That's who they are. They're going to do it. They're going to make money off of it. Even if they don't make money off it, they'll find a niche audience because that's just stuff that they do. That's how they get their kicks, man. They love victimhood and they love, they love being given over to a reprobate mind. That's just who they are. Right now, they're not going to stop doing that. But y'all, there has to be a challenge. There has to be a competitive challenge to that narrative. That's one of the reasons why y'all, regardless of which they're going to do it. It doesn't matter. Even if we made a market, a competitive market of doing, they're still going to do it anyway. But this is the problem. They're doing it and they're pushing way over here. Where's our pushback to at least try to hold the line of sanity? They've way crossed the line of sanity and pushing that in the culture, and we've got no pushback against it. It's like too many conservatives, not all. A lot of y'all in the audience right now are a blessed few who try to support, and I'm thankful for it. And it breaks my heart that other people don't join you, and really try to give a thrust with this so we can push back, man. But if you don't have a competitive market against these things, the insanity is just going to keep pushing. Because people see that there's reward in it, right? The social reward of being woke, or whether it's money or whether it's fame. If you go along with these good things will happen. They associate these things with good. They don't associate your values with good. All they see is they don't see the reward in it. No kind of reward. None. Hardly. Right? So why should they? But because there's no market of it, because there's no market that shows a value of praise or money or anything like that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, even money is a show of reward. It shows there's some sense of value. There's a sense of value in it. Well, that's not really being shown to show that there's support for it. There's some recourse. Like if a person wanted to come out as a conservative, right? Or just, even if they're just working as an extra or something like that, or working, on the production crew or anything like that. They say something, man, they get fired. And there's no recourse for them. Who's going to have their back? Hardly nobody. That's why you don't see, you'll only basically see maybe like some A-list actors or who were, or some actors that already kind of like had a name for themselves. Yeah, they may step out. They got something that they can fall back on, but you ain't gonna see too much more than that, and a lot of times, they're not even really that conservative. Like Clint Eastwood, it cracks me up, man. People exalt Clint Eastwood as this amazing conservative. He's not even close to being a conservative. Not even close. He's a conservative because he talked to a chair. He called a chair Obama, and but I guess all of a sudden he's like the conservative, superlative, so but people will just give these people the title like that, and that doesn't turn out well, y'all. That's why there really isn't a conservative Hollywood movement, because there's really no strong foundation about what conservatism is in Hollywood. There just really isn't. All right. It's at some point, it may get some legs and it may, start to take off, but as it is right now, conservatism is still a very wishy-washy thing in Hollywood. And all that to say, y'all, when you don't have this competition against what liberals are doing, don't support the cultivation of it to make it better. Well, Hollywood's just going to have their way. And when you have conservatives that seem to only have money for politicians, you got money for a campaign, but you don't have money to support the market to uphold these values in the culture, right? These people are putting it out in the culture, man. This stuff that over and over again, they're putting it out in the culture, and more people are getting tired of each other. They're pushing for a war, right? They're pushing for a race war, just like the Democrats have always done. That's who Democrats are. And they need that to tear down this republic, to remake it into a democracy the way that they want, right? That's always been who Democrats are, ever since the Confederacy, right? I hope more people will start to make this connection, And when you don't have that cultural pushback, and these means that they're doing it, then they just have free reign. That's why they're getting away with so much stuff, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. But it's like too many conservatives, they think that it's, while saying government's the problem, not the answer, they always think that it's some politician that's going to save them. It's weird, right? It's the irony is just thick, right? That's why I hope y'all get my audio book. Y'all please get my audio book, A Solid Right Cross. Get that culture war coaching, right? Conservatives need it, man. It's like, stop listening to all these people puff up your pride and your anger and stoke that sort of stuff. Get some common sense solutions on how we deal with these things, not knee-jerk solutions, because conservatives they're way given over to knee-jerk reactions and solutions to these things. It's not working, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, things are getting worse. You know it. All right. Start listening to what you need to hear, mainly the word of God, instead of a lot of these provocateurs out there and these people on the radio stoking your pride, telling you what you want to hear. All right. We need a different solution. Well, the solution has always been in the word of God. A solid right cross is probably just, it's maybe funner, to read. And I was like, actually, I have a blast reading the Bible. I don't know about y'all, man. I have a blast, man. I party with the Lord, man. So lastly, what do we got left? Former teacher, Texas Democrat. Oh my goodness. James Tallarico says that there's it's a fact that there are 6 genders. Okay, so this dude was a teacher, huh? I hope he didn't teach math, or science, or teach. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry he was ever a teacher. He shouldn't teach, right? I'm glad that he's a former teacher. But what's up, man? What's up with this super conservative Texas? Why y'all be having all this this Democrat representation, man? What's up with that, Texas? Man, I almost forgot. Well, Texas is Texas just devolving back into what it was, right? Texas, for far longer than it was a Republican state, was a Democrat state. All right. Are y'all sinking back into that? You going back to what you were? Democrats, right? Democrats, with that Confederacy. Y'all going back there? Texas? What's up, man? It's like when people crack me up and say they think that the lunacy can't get to them, right? This wouldn't be Texas becoming loony. This would be Texas going back to being loony, right? Democrats have been loony. Right. So Texas, this wouldn't be new territory for you. Better be careful. Right. Y'all had it, it's when you were like, okay, man, we Republican state now. And now, what do we expect, man? Democrats, they run everything. They didn't infiltrate the school system, entertainment, news, they run everything. It's not far-fetched or a surprise that, they'd be getting back into these states too. They're just reclaiming, man. Texas is not a factor of Texas becoming blue. It'd just be basically the red fading, back to blue. Be careful, y'all. Be careful. Get back into the word of God, because Texas can go back to being a Democrat state, So anyway, watch that pride, y'all. Pride goes before destruction. And if Democrats take over, then you will be destroyed, right? Watch that pride. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for stopping in to chill for a dose from the Zoloft. And, hope you guys will support at bronzeserpentmedia.com. Get the mugs, got the shirts, make people all jealous and stuff like that, because where to go get your head right? So you can come and get these. Make sure you get the book. Check out my music project, 20 Pound Sledge. And yeah, just support, man, so we can try to, maintain some sanity in the culture, man. Be that salt and light. You know what I'm saying? All right, thank you guys. Blessings to you, and we will talk again soon.